In this series, we are looking at the governing body of the Jehovah's Witnesses' darkest secret that they've hidden from their members. A secret so dark that, if exposed, could lead to the collapse of the Watchtower society. And they've implemented strategies to actually hide this secret in plain sight. In the first episode, we looked at how they've used the information lockdown to hide this secret in plain sight. In episode 2, we looked at how they've developed a sophisticated and perfect prison, the prison of the mind, to ensure that members don't go out of that prison to discover this dark secret hidden in plain sight. This is Tell Me Dr. K, a channel on which we discuss matters of theological nature, no matter how difficult, complex, uncomfortable, or politically incorrect the topic might be. Because on Dr. K, no question, no topic is off limit. In today's video, we are going to discuss how the Watchtower Society profits by keeping its members in financial bondage. Back up, because it's going to be a rough ride. Picture this: a religion that sits on billions in real estate and investment, while its members struggle to pay rent, take children to school, or even afford insurance. This is not a contradiction. It's done by design. Today we are exposing how the Watchtower Society systematically keeps its members poor, exhausted, and financially dependent. The first rule of financial control: limit education. While they never directly say don't go to college, Watchtower publications and videos are full of cautionary tales.
All too often, our young people have met with spiritual disaster, especially after leaving home and living on a university campus. So parents and children, you need to have a goal, and you need to have a plan. If you're missing either one, Satan will provide it for you. Young people, ask yourself, why am I considering additional education? Is it because I'm pursuing a specific skill or trade to support my service to Jehovah? Or have I been pressured by the system into believing that higher education will somehow make me a more respected person or lead me to a better life? If we are in continued association with those who do not believe the same, it can erode our thinking and convictions.
Discouraging members, particularly the young members, from pursuing higher education. Let's sample some of these clips and tales.
Back in 2005, the faithful slave provided counsel regarding higher education in the October 1st, 2005 issue of the Watchtower, pages 26 through 31. The article was entitled, "Parents, What Future Do You Want for Your Children?" The cover of the very next issue, October 15th, 2005, asked the question, what is the best education? You may have noticed that we've not published that thorough of a discussion on the subject since that time. Why is that? Has the governing body changed its position regarding the pursuit of higher secular education? No. We feel that all of the cautions that we have addressed in the past are still valid. It is the potential for spiritual harm that has moved us to provide the cautions we have shared in the past.
Do you remember that 18-year-old young brother who is trying to decide which path to take? Well, that was me some years ago. I'm so glad that with the help of Jehovah and my parents and other mature friends in the congregation, I made the decision, just like so many other brothers and sisters around the world, to turn down that scholarship, to give up university, and go directly into the full-time service.
Personally, I am so thankful to Jehovah that positive peer pressure was put on me to enter the pioneer ministry right out of high school. What a blessing and a protection it was to enter the regular pioneer work at age 17 and to be able to go to Bethel at 18. Even though there was considerable worldly pressure put on me to pursue university education, I am so happy that with Jehovah's help, I decided to build my future with Jehovah.
If you are enjoying this video, kindly like, subscribe, and smash the notice bell so that when I upload the next episode, you'll receive a notification and you'll not miss a single episode. They show young sisters losing faith for going to college. Young sister stop spiritual activities because she's so busy studying. A brother's education that leads him away from the faith. The March 2025 broadcasting is a perfect example of this. A discussion about Baruch, how he was pursuing his own agenda. It is entitled, Do Great Things for Jehovah, meaning for the organization.
You parents must also make personal decisions about secular education for your children. Naturally, you want them to get a good education, but you have to think carefully about potential dangers. You younger Christians approaching adulthood must make decisions involving education and employment. There may be many choices, but which ones will help you live up to your dedication to Jehovah? One sister said this, "As a baptized witness, I had read and heard about the dangers of pursuing university education, but I dismissed such warnings. I thought that counsel did not apply to me." Well, our sister made a personal choice in the matter, but was it a wise one? She continues, "Studying for my courses took so much time and effort that I was too busy to linger in prayer to Jehovah the way I used to, too exhausted to enjoy Bible discussions with others, and too tired to prepare well for the meetings. Thankfully, once I realized that being immersed in higher education was damaging my relationship with Jehovah, I knew I had to stop, and I did."
The results are staggering. Only 12% of Jehovah's Witnesses have a university degree in the US. 12%. The lowest rate for any religious group. Now, here's the problem. Without higher education, your career prospects vanish. Critical thinking underdeveloped. And most importantly, the ability to question or leave the organization becomes more difficult. I've done a video on why Jehovah's Witnesses have a phobia of college degree. I'll leave a link at the end of this video for you to watch that one. What is the next rule of financial control? Demonization of material success. I've done a two-part series entitled Why Jehovah's Witnesses Want You Poor. The Watchtower Society literature is littered with subtle messages. Avoid the rat race. Don't be consumed by career ambitions. That is also discussed in the March 2025 broadcasting, but also is discussed in Stephen Letty's talk entitled Beware of Materialism. And those two videos are based on the same.
Many of us need to work to support ourselves, but finding the type of work that allows us to serve Jehovah whole-souled may be challenging. Let's see how Bible principles influence the career decisions of two young publishers.
Why was it difficult to choose a career?
Most of my family have a university degree. Some are lawyers, engineers, accountants, and so on. So they expected me to go to university as well. They told me, "We don't have a doctor in the family yet. We think you should study medicine."
When I was 16, I was about to leave high school. Many of my schoolmates were planning to study at university and would say things like, "I want to go to this school. Which one are you going to?" I felt a lot of pressure to get a higher education. My teachers told me that I needed to continue my studies if I really wanted to make money.
I wanted to be a teacher, but there was so much pressure from my family to study something that would allow me to have a higher salary.
There were times when I felt overwhelmed because of the pressure. Even after I graduated from high school, a teacher contacted me to make sure that I was planning to go to university and, in his words, actually become someone in this world.
I started a 6-year psychology degree at university. And at the same time, I was studying for a teacher certificate on the weekends. And on top of all of that, I was working part-time. I was trying to do everything.
What helped you make a good decision?
I spoke with my mom about what I should do. She helped me to think about some of the dangers I would be exposed to at university, things that could endanger me in a spiritual sense.
After about 2 years, it became clear that I couldn't continue with such a busy routine. I needed to make a change. I remembered some advice I got from a friend. He had studied to become an accountant when he was young, but now he sells chilies. He jokingly said, "So now I'm counting chilies, so I guess you could say that it is what I studied."
That is also discussed in Stephen Letty's talk entitled Beware of Materialism.
Well, numerous other experiences could be related that illustrate the power of materialism. In fact, it may well be that Satan's most effective trap against Jehovah's people in these last days is materialism. But now you might be thinking, well, isn't sexual immorality by far the number one cause for disfellowshipping? That's true. But we don't have figures for ones who fall away to materialism. They're not disfellowshipped. And furthermore, how many who succumbed to sexual immorality were first weakened spiritually by materialism? Well, at least we can say that materialism is one of Satan's most effective tools or traps against Jehovah's people today. But now, our third example of the voice of our fine shepherd is at Matthew chapter 6, and we're going to read verses 19 and 20. Stop storing up for yourselves treasures on the earth, where moth and rust consume, and where thieves break in and steal. Rather, store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes, and where thieves do not break in and steal. We're told that our focus should be on spiritual things and not on physical things. And this is especially true when thinking about where we are in the stream of time, in the final part of the final part of the last days. But what's the voice of strangers of this world on this subject? Exert yourself vigorously to acquire material possessions. Pursue things that will make your life comfortable, because that is what will bring you happiness. The question is, to whom are we listening? Jehovah and Jesus tell us to be content now with a spiritual paradise, and to concentrate on our life-saving preaching work, and that they will provide a physical paradise later. 1 Peter 2:11 indicates that we should view ourselves as temporary residents who are just passing through this old system and headed for the real life in the new world.
Now, on the surface, this appears to be very spiritual. After all, there are examples in the Bible, warnings about the love of money. Jesus even said, beware of covetousness. Paul even told Timothy of some in wanting to be rich, they've wrecked their faith. But in practice, it keeps members in low-paying jobs, no savings or safety nets. Meanwhile, the organization itself owns billions in properties and investments.
Because just down the road is the world headquarters of the Jehovah's Witnesses. They call it Bethel, the House of God, sprawling over 250 acres. 800 people live and work here, including the group's legal advisors, support staff, and the governing body, 8 men who establish and supervise Jehovah's Witnesses doctrine.
There is a claim that their Warwick headquarters cost $100 million to construct. There is also information online showing that the Brooklyn headquarters was sold for over $2 billion, bringing all the properties around $2 billion. It is alleged they own massive farms, printing facilities, real estate worldwide. The message is clear. Poverty is virtuous for you, but not for us. If you are enjoying this video, kindly like, subscribe, and smash the notice bell so that when I upload the next episode, you'll receive a notification and you'll not miss a single episode. If you have any questions, you are seeking clarifications, you don't agree with what I've said, kindly put them in the comments below. If you don't agree with me, also put that in the comments below. Let's start the conversation. If you did not watch part 1 of this video, click on this link. To watch part 2 of this video, click on this link. To watch the video on how the Jehovah's Witnesses have silently acknowledged that Jehovah is not God's divine name, click on this link. To watch why Jehovah's Witnesses have a phobia of college degree, click on this link.